Hi, this video is talking about some of the main ways that I use Blackboard when I'm teaching English as an additional language with my students. I haven't learned all the Blackboard functions, but the basic ones I'll be covering here for you. Let's start by opening our Blackboard course here, and I'm going to pick a course that I've been teaching already, so you'll see right away that I've made certain changes in the course, not very many, so it won't be hard for you to recognize your course in this. The first thing you need to notice is that on the left side is a menu of basic folders, and these folders are called content areas. So I've created some new ones that fit my topics and purposes, and you can do that as well. I'll create a new one here called testing, and I'm going to make it available to my users, and I'm going to submit it. It will appear at the bottom of the list down here, and it is set to be open to the users. These ones up here have the black diagonal line. That means students cannot see them, but I can open them up to the users anytime I want to. So that's a content area on the side. These can slide up and down, which is very nice because I like to keep the current ones up at the top and move the old ones down at the bottom. So here's my main content areas, and I have reading, vocabulary, etc. Now personally, I have found that having a content area just for homework works pretty good for me. I might change that when I'm teaching fully online, but I like to have a week all together and say exactly what the assignments are here day by day, which homework we're doing in the book, etc., etc. The next basic thing you need is how to add material and activities into your content areas over here, your folders you can call them. And I'm going to show you a few basic ones here. Normally, if I'm organized, I will start by identifying a content folder that will go inside the content area that I'm in right now. So I'm in writing right now. I think I'm going to create a folder in writing. Let's just call it grammar for the heck of it, and I can give a description here if I want to. It doesn't matter. So this content folder, all the new materials will automatically go at the bottom of the list. If I want to move it up, I can. It's automatically set to be available. That's the default. I can make it unavailable right here if I want to save it for later for upcoming weeks or something like that. So I've got a bunch of content already in this content area, and it's useful for you and students to recognize that these icons have special meanings. So this picture of a document is what we would normally call an item in Blackboard. These are some other folders I put things in. This picture of the world is a link. That means when I click here, I will be linking out to something that's outside of Blackboard usually, although you can link to things inside of Blackboard, and that's very nice for helping students move around. This icon right here with the ruler is an assignment, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on that because that's the simplest kind of Blackboard thing that any teacher should be able to run without much trouble. And then this is another assignment that I gave students to read about the coronavirus. So this Blackboard icon with the red X and the green check, this is a Blackboard test. and I imported it from our organization. Um, the test is being managed by me. It's open right now. They can take it, they can do a reading, and they can answer specific multiple choice questions inside the test. And this test has been set with the test settings so that they will automatically get a score, and they will see which answers were correct and which were not. This is not really a reading. I'm not assessing their reading so much through it. For me, it's a practice test. Here's a test that used to be available but now is hidden. So if you can see around this icon here, it's a very muted color. That means it's there, but it's hidden. If I wanted to make it available, I could directly through the editing feature on the gray circle over here. I can make it available anytime I wanted to. The test has a variety of complex options. We're not going to talk about that today. I want to keep it simple. So the content you'll be building could go in subfolders, content folders, as I discussed. And the main types of content that I want to, that I use the most of the time is the item content and the web link content. So I'll show you those right now. Why I like item, some people prefer file, but with file you can only attach one file. With item, you can attach a lot of files, so you have a little more freedom there. So the name of my item is going to be grammar practice, and then I can give a description down here of what I want my students to do and understand what the instructions are. And then now there's not going to be a due date here, by the way. It's just kind of sharing the item. The main thing though is I'm going to be able to attach some files to this PDF or Word or whatever I want to do. So I'm going to grab a PDF file and add it in here. This is 1 megabyte. We try not to put big files on Blackboard because of the limited server capability. And that is it. So if I want this only to be available for a certain time, I could set that. Now I'm going to submit that, and it will automatically appear available again at the bottom of my list. Here it is at the bottom. If I want to move it up, I can. I tend to move things up that I'm currently using. Now let's create a new form of content, which is the web link. If you're linking out to other activities, you can have links. Well, what is a link? A link has a name, but importantly, a link has a URL. So I'm going to pull a URL from a grammar website that I like, and I'm going to, oops, that should copy it here. I'm copying the link out of the address bar, and you can't see that right now. But I'm going to go back, and now I'm pasting my link down here. And I can also give a description of my link if I want to in the text box. And it's very simple. I submit it. And what do students see? They see that it's a link. They see the world icon. They see the name that I gave the link. And it is available. It has the bright colors in the icon. And I can edit it or change it to make it unavailable however I want to in the future. By the way, if you like Google Drive, keep in mind that you could have large files over there in Google Drive that you could be linking to here through Blackboard. The next basic thing that you're usually going to be building inside your content areas is going to be a test or an assignment. Now, tests get a little bit complicated in how you make them. and how you deploy or manage them through the test options. So I'm going to skip that now and go to the assignments, which are much easier to create and to manage because they require you to do more work when you're grading them. Let's call this one a writing essay. Of course, they could just be answering questions on a list. Here's my description. They could be doing their homework through an assignment. There's really a lot of options here. Again, I can add files here, a chapter, a homework page, something like that. But very importantly is to set a due date. And I'll explain why later, but every assignment really should have a due date. It will be available after the due date, unless you specify that. Always give points possible, because every assignment grade is going to go straight into your grade book, and students need to see how their work is progressing. You can take an arbitrary number, 10, 20, whatever you want. There's a lot of specific submission details that I don't really get into very much. It's automatically default is it's going to be available. And if I want to limit when it starts being seen and when it ends being seen, I can do that here. But usually I don't. I can go back later and make it unavailable. So I'm going to submit it right now. And the one thing I forgot to put in this assignment was a rubric. So I'm going to go back and edit this assignment and put in that rubric. And I'm going to make a real quick one. Now, where's that function? It's right under grading options. Sorry, it's not under grading options. It's right under here where it says points possible, add rubric. So let's create a new rubric just from scratch, a real quick rubric. Gave the rubric a title, just called it essay. And I can give a description here if it helps me or the students. The main thing that we need to focus on in the rubric is rows and columns that reflect what you care about in your scoring. And as you can see, the default setting in Blackboard is that there's 3 rows and there's 3 columns. So let's just go with that to keep it simple for now. But they've given each row basically equal weighting, 33%, 34, 33, and they have given a certain weighting to the columns. So if you score, let's say in grammar down here in the bottom, then by the way, this was here automatically. So if I could easily change this by editing it, but I'm just going to keep it for now. So many errors. I have to describe that level of performance. And I need to say how many points I'm going to give. I think 0 is a bad idea, so I'm going to say 20. Personally, 20 points, 20%. And then over here, I'm going to say some errors, and then very few errors. So of course, it takes a while to customize your rubrics, set them up correctly, and I'm going to encourage you to try importing some of our rubrics to save time. But anyway, we should build this whole thing. And I'm going to just be using some defaults just to make this quick and easy for now. So I'm going to submit my rubric, and it is there. It appears as a rubric. It has not going to be visible to students, and I think that's because I didn't fill it all in. So I want to say, yes, I want them to see their rubric scores to get specific details on their work. And so I'm going to submit that now. And it's all set to go. So here is their writing essay, their homework, whatever it is. They're going to open it up automatically. They're going to see when it's due. They're going to see how many points. They're going to see that simple rubric that I made for it. And now they have to submit their assignment. And at this point, there's two important choice options that they need to consider. They could write it directly in a little box in Blackboard, and they will get some, for a few sentences, fine. They should do it here, I think, because they'll get some simple formatting help and spell checking, so why not? But for longer essays, I prefer that they would do it in Word and then select the file and upload the file into Blackboard. So I clicked on Browse My Computer, and they selected it, and here it is right here, and it is ready to attach. So we're going to submit it, and it is all submitted now. They've done their homework, and the teacher can grade it. I think you will find that grading and feedback in Blackboard are really nice features. So I went down to on my list on my content area on the left, and I go all the way down to the grade center. And when I get to the grade center, the full grade center is just a spreadsheet of all the grades. I usually click on Needs Grading, and I'm going to see some assignments that students have submitted. Some of them are discussions, which I'm not going to talk about right now. I want to look at just a simple assignment, and I want to practice giving a grade to that assignment. So I'm going to grade all users for this assignment. This was a practice assignment with no rubric associated with it. So I can see her document. It just opened up. We were practicing in the classroom. I can add comments. I can put in little marks if I want to. I can draw on it. The main thing, of course, I need to do is to give her a score. It was a 1-point activity. So I'm going to give her a score of 1. And I can give a note down here, what I thought about your work. And there are some other ways of giving feedback, including recording comments. That's possible in Blackboard Learn. Her assignment was an uploaded Word file, and I could download her Word file if I really wanted to down here. I can also add little grading notes that are private just for me as a record. A lot of options. So this italic A is the full content editor for feedback. When I click here, I get more options for things such as audio recordings and video that I could give to her as feedback for her work. So once I submit this, this grade that I gave her will appear directly in her gradebook and will be added into a total of other grades. And now that I've graded her, her name does not appear on the list of assignments that need grading. You can easily just click right through all the students on that particular assignment who need grading. Discussions is a great interactive thing that I will not explain in this video, but I think it really can promote something that students may be missing in their online learning. So, another very simple function that everybody should learn is the course tools, course messaging. There's many course tools over here. I mostly use the test making tools down here, but course messaging is basic email. And to send a message through Blackboard, the nice thing is that Blackboard knows exactly who is in your class, so that saves time. And I like to, by the way, use blind carbon copy. I think it's better. I'm going to select all of the participants in the course. I'm going to unselect this teacher who was added and is not really part of things. I'm going to click the right arrow because I want all of those students to be recipients of the message that I'm about to send. I'm going to give my message a title, and I'm going to type the message here. Come tomorrow, whatever it is. Could even put in other things, of course, into that message. Could upload an attachment, etc. And I'm going to submit the message, and that will send it out to all of the students in the course. Another way I communicate with students is through announcements. So up here under What's New and Due, students should be able to see their upcoming due dates and deadlines. They should be able to see how many assignments they have, things like that. But I use the announcements a lot because it's very easy to create an announcement and then send it out directly through email. And to do this, you click on More Announcements down here. And here's something about the coronavirus, something we did in class. And I'm going to create a new announcement. Here's the title of the announcement. Here's the message of the announcement. But very importantly, I'm going to send it directly to them as an email if it's that important. And I'm going to include a link inside the announcement into a folder area where they can go directly to do the work I'm talking about. So here is the folder structure of my Blackboard as it exists right now. And up here, writing is a content area. Topic sentences is a folder inside writing. And these are all items. These are all links, I think. And there should be some tests in here as well in my Blackboard area. So I'm going to pick this one out, click on it, and that link will appear in their email message and in the announcement area. So that's, once your Blackboard starts growing, it can get very complex to have folders in folders. Students will get lost. Announcements are a way to help them click directly into important things that you're working on right now. So I click Submit to create that announcement. As you can see, all of my announcements usually have a link to something inside the course where the students should go directly to. And you will see that usually you can ask Blackboard to send the announcement to you as well. Sometimes you'll see that link in the bottom of the message to the folder or the activity inside Blackboard.